In this video, we're going to explore teaching the alphabet based on the Montessori method. Let's explore why Montessori alphabet teaching is a great way to help your child build the vocabulary one sound at a time. Before we dive in, let's quickly go over what Montessori alphabet teaching is. This method is based on the idea that children learn best when they are given the freedom to explore and discover new concepts on their own. Montessori alphabet teaching focuses on teaching the alphabet using phonetics instead of the names of the individual letters. By doing this, children learn to associate sounds with the letters. Phonetics is a more natural way for children to learn the alphabet. Children are already familiar with sounds of language, so learning the sounds of the letters is a logical and intuitive approach. So what are the benefits of using Montessori alphabet teaching? Well, one of the biggest advantages is that it allows children to learn at their own pace. Instead of being forced to memorize the names of each letter, children can focus on learning the sounds associated with each letter. This helps them to better understand how words are formed and how to read them. Another benefit is that Montessori alphabet teaching can help build a strong foundation for reading and writing. By teaching children to associate sounds with letters, they are able to sound out words and build the vocabulary. This helps them become more confident readers and writers later on. How exactly does Montessori alphabet teaching work? Let's take the letter B for example. In the traditional way of teaching the alphabet, children are taught to say B. In Montessori method, children learn to say the sound B. This is more accurate representation of the sound that the letter B makes in words. By learning the sounds of the letters, children can start to blend sounds together to form words and begin to read. There are various activities you can do with your child that include things like sorting objects by the sound, tracing letters in sand or on chalkboard, or even matching pictures to the corresponding sounds. Hands-on activities are a great way for young children to learn, but sometimes you're just ready to wind down for the day, or maybe you only have a few minutes. This is where something like a book would come in handy. The tricky part is finding an alphabet book that actually uses each letter's phonetics correctly. For example, one of the biggest issues you'll find is for the letter X. You'll find stuff like X-ray or xylophone. The problem is that the letter X doesn't make either of those sounds. With X-rays, you're saying the name of the letter and not actually the sound the letter makes. For xylophone, the letter X isn't making its standard sound either. As you can see, two of the popular representations of the letter X aren't teaching the standard sound of the letter. The reason you want your child to learn the standard sound is because they'll be able to use it to sound out what they'll actually encounter in early reading, such as common words they'll come across like box or fox. And as you can see, the problem is that the letter X isn't in the front of the word, hence making things not look as uniform when every other letter has proper words that represent the sound it makes as the first letter. So I use this as an opportunity to make my own Montessori alphabet book to help introduce my son to sounds of each letter. This is a simple book with the letter on the left page along with the word, and on the right page has a photorealistic image of the word. And just in case you're wondering, in this book I used fox for the letter X, as I found a fox to be more fun to look at versus something like a box. And I would rather a child not confuse an ox with a cow. Additionally, all the letters and words inside this book are lowercase because they're more frequently used in reading and writing, and therefore more importantly for children to learn first. Using lowercase letters also helps children more easily recognize the difference between letters, since uppercase letters sometimes look very similar to each other. This can help children avoid confusion and develop a more accurate understanding of the alphabet. If you're interested in this book, you can find a link down below where you can purchase it from Amazon. I do wish that I was able to make a board book, but Amazon self-publishing has pretty limited printing options. Even for something like a hardcover version would require a minimum of 75 pages, and there's no logical way for me to add about 22 extra pages in this book. This is my first book, and it's meant to be an introduction to the Montessori alphabet teaching. Think of it as baby step for parents who are just starting to learn about using sounds rather than saying the letter to teach the alphabet. It puts it in a way that's familiar for parents, so we're comfortable teaching our children. I am also planning on coming out with a second book that uses a more traditional Montessori approach. But of course, not sure how far into the future that will be, as even a simple alphabet book like this took much longer than expected. In the more traditional Montessori approach, letters are grouped either based on their phonetic sounds or in a way that allows children to make many words with the letters he or she has learned. For a phonetic grouping example, letters B, P, and M might be grouped together because they all make the same sound at the beginning of words. Think about bat, pat, and mat. And letters like C, K, and G might be grouped together because they make similar sounds, as in cat, kits, and GOTS. A popular grouping of letters are M, A, T, and S. After learning the sounds of these 4 letters, your child will be able to form many different words like mat or sat. There are various Montessori schools and each seem to follow different groupings. So there's no correct way to group the alphabet letters. Hence why this second book will be a bit tougher to make. By teaching children to recognize and understand letters with phonetics, the Montessori method helps children develop a stronger vocabulary and a deeper understanding of how language works. This can set them up for success not just in reading and writing, but in all areas of communication and learning. Let me know down below in the comment section what you think about Montessori alphabet teaching. Will you be using it for your child? If you've enjoyed this video, feel free to give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next one.